Russia announced Thursday it would be ordering troops to return from the border with Ukraine. The call is an apparent end to a substantial military buildup of tens of thousands of soldiers over the last few weeks, which had alarmed Western powers. Russia also pulled additional troops out of Crimea, the peninsula it annexed from Ukraine and occupied since 2014. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said he had ordered troops involved in exercises to return to their bases by May 1st, as they had completed what he called an inspection in the border area. However, military hardware will be left at a city near the border. Russia said it will be used again in another big exercise later this year.
In Indonesia, this rescue operation grows more urgent as the hours pass. 53 people were on board the KRI Nanggala 402 when it went missing, somewhere in the waters near the island of Bali. The submarine has been in service for 40 years. Its crew was taking part in a training exercise when it lost contact in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Indonesian authorities requested help from the country's nearest neighbours.
Assistance from neighboring countries includes Singapore in the form of the Swift rescue ship. It's a submarine rescue ship.
Malaysian soldiers are on board a rescue vessel and expected to reach Indonesia in a few days. The KRI Nanggala 402 was built in the late 70s in Germany and has been in service in Indonesia since 1981. Defence experts have long called for a major overhaul of some of the country's ageing military equipment.
India has reported the world's highest daily count of new coronavirus cases for a second straight day. More than 330,000 new infections were recorded in the last 24 hours there. In response, Canada is banning all flights from both India and Pakistan, and the UK is also putting new restrictions on travel to and from India. The unprecedented spikes comes after coronavirus case numbers first rose to 100,000 per day by last September and then dropped off again through the winter. Experts say that new virus variants and recent super spreader gatherings have contributed to the latest surge.
At about 11:45 this morning, police spotted 3 cars, which is 2 Audis and a Hyundai i20, with about 10 suspects. Those suspects, they started firing shots to a Toyota Fortune that was driving in this road. Is then that our members intercepted the suspects. On seeing the police, the suspects started to fire shots to shoot at the police, and a shootout ensued. The police shot back, and during that shootout, 2 of the suspects were fatally wounded, and other 2 suspects were injured and taken to hospital.
China's ongoing crackdown and abuse in Xinjiang has been unanimously declared a genocide by British lawmakers. Lawmakers have also called on the UK government to use international law to bring the genocide to an end. Introducing the motion, Conservative lawmaker Nusrat Ghani told lawmakers that while we must never misuse the term genocide, we must not fail to use it when it's warranted. Nusrat Ghani was one of the 5 UK parliamentarians sanctioned by China. Ghani said genocide meant intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. All 5 criteria of genocide are evident at taking place in Xinjiang. While UK ministers say that any decisions on declaring it a genocide is up to the courts, Ghani said every route to court is blocked by China.
Clashes have broken out every night since the start of the holy month of Ramadan. This after authorities set up a barricade at Damascus Gate, a traditional gathering spot. Now, a far-right Jewish group, meanwhile, were blocked after leading a march of hundreds of protesters chanting, "Arabs, get out."
You know, it's quite interesting. It's difficult to put your finger on anything other than the fact that there's an underlying tension here all the time, and all you need is a small match for it to burst into flame. And so what we saw was that Palestinians were not allowed to come and pray at Al-Aqsa during Ramadan in the numbers that they usually do. That was COVID related. We saw Palestinian youth who, after the iftar, the breakfast meal in the evening in Ramadan, always hang out at the Damascus Gate. That was closed to them. They didn't like that, and their response was to find Israelis, often ultra-Orthodox Jews, who were in the old city going to pray. They'd beat them up and they'd upload those photos to TikTok.